I seek refuge with Allah from the accursed devil. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. We continue with another class on emotional intelligence. What exactly are the main factors of emotional intelligence exactly? Self-awareness, self-control, and self-motivations. What does self-awareness mean? In the context of emotions, it means I am going to thoroughly and deeply understand my own emotions. This is called self-awareness. It means I am going to understand well when, how, and why I feel rage. When, how, and why I feel happy. And when, how, and why I feel disappointment. This way, I will understand each step of, we can say, our affections, our emotions. Since everything can either harm me or indeed help me to motivate myself better, this is called self-awareness. So, since I have come to know well how my emotions are functioning, how I am affected by emotions, when my ambition dominates me and leads me to make a decision, I understand the process as it is. For example, how a glance provokes lust in me and leads me to fall into sin, I will understand that well. So, since you have known the cause, you can control the cause. You can uproot the cause. When you control the causes of emotions, you are controlling the emotions. When I exercise self-control, by not falling into a situation that provokes me to feel anger, rage, disappointment, or joy, which leads you to make an illogical, emotional decision, then you can control yourself and your emotions. So the first step, the first very important factor of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. The second factor is self-control. I will hold myself back. When emotions want to take over, I will use logic and intellect to overcome, control, and stop the emotions. And then I will program myself to go through a process of awakening the emotions that help me achieve my goals. For example, I hate studying. I must control that hate. And then self-motivate, which means leading myself to have a positive emotion towards studying. I am going to change my emotional state towards studying. I am going to love it. How so? How can it be? When you ask a person what their career is, they say, well, I chose that career because I wanted it. I loved it. And how many times has that person thought about why I haven't changed my emotional state? This love. Why haven't I changed it to have another love in another job that is 1,000 times more successful? Many times we are affected by our emotions, but developing emotional intelligence ensures that we make successful, logical, and intellectual decisions. This is an important factor, and we must keep in mind that through emotional intelligence, we will reach self-control via self-awareness, and then, most importantly, self-motivations. Those are three important parts in relation to ourselves. But emotional intelligence also helps us to have skills, or rather, to succeed in social relationships, in communicating with others, and in having a positive, influential role in our work, in our society, and in our family. We will look at it one by one. We have said that we are going to achieve self-awareness, and we will also come to know others. When your child is screaming and crying, it means they have a negative emotional state. You can already develop your emotional intelligence by studying in depth the state of your child, how they are, why they are crying, why they are complaining, what their deep desire is, and what your wife is telling you through her complaints. Perhaps she has a message for you, then you do your best to uncover the hidden messages behind each emotion, and you will come to know others. When you already know others, then you know how to manage and handle them, because you will control negative emotional states and lead those people to a positive emotional state towards their goals, towards success. This helps us to motivate others to be an influential, positive, and friendly leader. We will collaborate with others, and that spirit of collaboration, brotherhood, and solidarity will awaken in us, helping us to have a more affectionate and effective relationship, or rather, a stronger, kinder, more loving, and more executive one. Through emotional intelligence, we can develop social skills. How so? Listen carefully. In a job, when you can control your emotions, it can serve you better. For example, if a salesperson wakes up every day saying, "Oh, what a monotonous job. I don't feel like it. Look, I'm tired. It's always the same. Work, and always in the same store. There's no variety." Then, when they arrive at work, they won't have the motivation to greet customers with a smile, to pay attention, or to serve them well. Gradually, the number of customers will decrease and they will be let go from their job. Why? Because that person has not been able to control their negative emotion towards a monotonous job. On the contrary, a person who has been able to develop their emotional intelligence, every morning they want to wake up, has their goals in mind. They say, "I am in this job to earn money, to save money, to start another business, to do this, to do that, and in the end, to build this factory, to do this, to build a mosque." He has thousands of goals to reach, as he will find that job as a tool, as a means to achieve his goals. He will love that job. So for him, it is not something monotonous, because every day he is taking a step forward and getting closer to his goals. Every day he is getting closer to success. Every day he is happier than before, because he knows he is on a path. He is not a lost person, filled with doubt, not knowing where to go. He is a person with certainty, strong and stable. An example of why? When two people in similar situations, one single and the other married, are about to take a job, store owners or entrepreneurs generally prefer to hire the married one, not the single one. Why? Because a single person is still a person like a ship without a rudder in the sea. They no longer know where to go. One day they go out with one person, and the next day with another, as they do not have their life established. But another person who is already married has already built their life, so it is clear where they want to go. They already have their wife or husband, and now they are looking to save money to pay for their child's education, to pay for their house, rent, etc. This means that they have a stable life, not as emotionally unstable as a single person. So, of course, factory owners and shopkeepers obviously prefer to have a stable, reliable, and dependable married person rather than a single person. Therefore, to better serve clients, it is best to have more developed emotional intelligence, to manage your subordinates, your employees, your secretary, your students. What you need is to have that developed ability to control your emotions. Imagine, for example, you are a university professor. It has happened to me many times. You enter the university, and suddenly a boy or a girl is in a humorous mood and tries to joke with you, or tells a nonsensical joke. and now you get irritated, you feel anger. How would you react as a teacher in that university with 200 people watching you? If you neglect this and say nothing, it means that, like a benevolent parent, you treat that person who, for example, has mocked you or made a nonsensical joke, or you react emotionally and get irritated, starting to insult them in front of everyone, humiliating them. What happens then? You are already losing the audience. Why? Because everyone is watching that scene. If you could pass through life with generosity, with forgiveness, and remain calm in front of everyone, that would be great. That shows a lot of wisdom. A wise person, a good teacher, means that when you can control your negative emotions through your intellect. But if it is the opposite, you immediately react. You get irritated right away. You insult immediately. You are a lost person. No one will follow you, not even as a teacher. There, that person does not know how to treat others. This means that in managing a business, a class, or a store, you need to have emotional intelligence. What else? In order to discern the cause of negative behavior in others. Many times, what the employers, the store owners, and the teachers suffer from is that, for example, the students do not pay attention to us. I go to the class. The students do not listen to me. The students do not want to learn. A bunch of these excuses. I always say that the blame is largely on the teacher, because with the same class, with the same students, we have had classes and meetings where everyone listened to the teacher. What's happening? Nobody wants to listen to this teacher. Everyone listened to the other one. And now that it's his turn, no one is paying attention. For example, everyone likes math because the teacher is nice, because the teacher has developed emotional intelligence. But everyone hates, for example, history, because the teacher is always in a bad mood when he arrives in class, always demanding, never listening to his students. He is a teacher who doesn't know how to treat students. He is a dry, stubborn teacher. Why? They have emotional intelligence that is not developed. They do not understand that the person in front of them is not a robot, not a machine, but a human being. The first influential factor in that human being is their emotion, their motivation. Human beings operate through motivations. You will control your emotions as well as the emotions of others. Through the same emotions, you can lead those people to act better. Because, look, if human beings live a life that is natural and normal, they will become emotional beings. It means that for us to change our lives from beings of emotions to beings of intellect, it is difficult. But if you live a life with a normal life, it will be an emotional being. When it is more ignorant, it is more emotional. When it is more fanatical, it is more emotional. But when I am more of a believer, when I am wiser, I am more intellectual. I am more logical, I am wiser. He does not allow his emotions to decide for him, but rather his intellect will decide for the emotions. That emotion we silence, that emotion we develop, that emotion we awaken. This is how they will handle their own emotions. What else? A person who has that ability, developed emotional intelligence, can group their people, can organize their people well, and can make two opposing individuals work together, even if one person hates the other or does not want to work with them, right? So you, being a good manager, already know how to handle negative emotions from both sides and lead them to a conviction that they must work together, which means you will succeed in the job, in the group. What else? An important factor in work is satisfaction. Many people are satisfied with a low salary. And when we look at other jobs, there are people who receive a higher salary than these individuals, but they are not satisfied. When we study which factor is the most important, we will see another example, like 2009, when a boss, a president, I don't know, the owner of a factory changes, many people say they no longer want to work. Why? If you receive the same salary, my ex-boss says, the previous boss didn't treat me like this, he listened to me, he attended to me, he greeted me with a smile, he felt among us, he lived like us, and cared for us from the heart. I liked being with him. What does it mean? It means that the previous boss had that ability, the developed emotional intelligence, could understand others, and could help others. So, in order to bring satisfaction to your subjects, for your wife to be satisfied with that life, for your children to be satisfied to have that father, your employee, your secretary, etc. You can do everything through emotional intelligence. Well, all those skills come from having the practice that leads us to have emotional intelligence. And it is a practice which means that for a period of time, little by little, we must practice. And what is that practice? Is it controlling emotions and thinking a lot? Thinking a lot? Right. A thought or imaginations that are provoked by emotions. A person has awakened lust, either out of morbid curiosity after seeing a girl and is always thinking about that, or due to their ambition, they are thinking about how to earn more. So the cause of that thought is the emotion. And if what led you to start imagining, to think was emotion, then your thought is controlled by the emotion, no, that thought won't help you. Instead, you will delve deeper into that ambition every day. Right? How to think intellectually in a logical way to control your emotions. Think about the last time you were very angry, very irritated, very disappointed, or very happy. What was the cause? Write it down. This, yesterday I got quite angry about this. The day before yesterday I felt very happy. I did this illogical act. This. You are going to calculate every night. Calculate it. And you can number the causes of your emotions. So the next day you start to carefully control each and every one of these causes. Little by little, you will see that your skills have been further developed. The human being is a being that can change itself. Yes. It can change itself 100%. Yes, but everything is gradual, with a program and with practice. The next person to do so will explain more about the advantages of having developed emotional intelligence. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.